Hello, Daisy Cakes. This is Daisy X Machina, the drag queen detective who investigates all things speculative in science fiction, fantasy, and horror. And this is a Get Ready With Me where I get into drag to film a video later today. And we have John Crow is here. Good morning. And Lynette is here. And Frank is here. What's up? And as usual, the question is, how is your reading going this week? So I'm trying to figure out what I read before, what I'm reading now. But what I'm reading now is the Brandon Sanderson um, next volume in the Way of Kings series. And I forget the name, but am I the only one here that's a Brandon Sanderson fan? I think the series is brilliant. The Way of Kings. It's called Wind and Truth. And what I didn't really know until I read a little bit more about it is that it's a conclusion of a story arc in his Way of Kings series. So that's exciting. I was kind of expecting it just to be like another volume in a 10 volume set, but apparently it's a conclusion of the first half of the series. And I am very happy that I am like reading the series as it's going, because this is going to be because this book is like 1,300 pages. And it's going to be one of those things where if I wait until all the books are out, I don't know if I would read it, kind of like the Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time series, which is 13 volumes. If I didn't read that one as the books were being published, I don't know if I would. I would jump into it because it's a big commitment. But Way of Kings, what I really enjoy about it is it's not a traditional epic fantasy with the elves and the dwarves and the sort of European medieval setting. So anyway, I'm enjoying that, but I was hoping to finish it this week, but I don't really want to push myself to read it. I just want to enjoy it. So I don't know if I'll actually finish it this week, because next week I want to film the video of my top 2024 books. This week I want to film the Shelve It or Shove It from July to December, because I like doing that twice a year, 6 books. But we shall see. Anyway. No drones. Isn't that drone situation crazy over New Jersey? I don't know what's going on with that. Finished House of Frank. Love the characters. Love the setting. Oh no, but the plot let it down. I think it would have been better novella length. Because as I'm preparing for the this recap of the last 6, Shelve It or Shove It, I was thinking about the book Thrum that I picked in November, which is a short horror. It's a novella length. And I was just thinking, I'm glad it was novella length. I think it would have really been stretched out if they tried to make it longer. Cool Gamer is here. Yay. Thank you for joining us. Sanderson has a huge fan base. Yeah, it's crazy because his Kickstarter was like $40 million for a Kickstarter. Never read Sanderson. I will say he is kind of aimed towards that epic fantasy reader. But I will always recommend the first 3 Mistborn novels. He's written more in the Mistborn universe or world, which I don't think is necessary, because some of them are steampunk, which I don't know why he jumped ahead in the future. But just stick with the first 3. If you want to try out Sanderson, the first 3 Mistborn. Don't plan to. It's not for everyone. reading Alex by Pierre Lemaitre. It's dynamite. Dynamite. Okay, guys. So, oh, by the way, if anyone's interested in my health, I saw my neurologist. It looks like I'm making a full recovery for that Guillain-Barré syndrome I went through. And I have most of the feeling back in my hands and feet. So thank goodness for that. That sucked. Okay, so I was going to do pink. I pulled out a pink wig and pink jewelry. And I haven't really thought it through. I think I will. Well, let's start with, let's map out some. Let's map it out in pink. I don't know what I'm doing. But I have this bright matte. So I'm just going to use this row here with all these pinks. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Lynette also finished The Word is Murder, the first book in the Hawthorne and Horowitz mystery by Anthony Horowitz. His main character in this novel is a fictional version of himself. Wow. Up to 150 books this year. I'm not sure if I'll make it to 120. Well, you have 2 weeks. Yeah, I know other people have done that where they have their pseudonym is the main character or a character in the novel. Like, of course, if you read middle grade, Lemony Snicket's is the character, although you don't find it out till later in the series, or find out more about him later in the series, but is the a character. Well, he's not even a character in the novel or in the books. The other famous one, of course, is Patrick Dennis, who the pseudonym Patrick Dennis was the main character in the fictional memoir of Auntie Mame. It's kind of funny because I don't think he meant to keep Patrick Dennis as his regular pseudonym, but of course, with the success of Auntie Mame, all his books are under the name Patrick Dennis. So if anyone has been keeping up with the news about the UFO or the drones over New Jersey, I heard someone say some of the drones are as big as cars, which is kind of difficult to believe. They definitely sound like UFOs. You know, as someone who's really been a fan of science fiction, I've never really cared that much about UFOs, or that's not the right word. I know some people who are like really into UFOs, and you would think I would be too, but I'm really not. I'm just like, well, maybe, I'm just have never really been that interested in whether or not we've been visited by aliens. And okay. I think it worked. He talked about his own books at times. That's cool. In reading, I prefer quality over quantity. Mm, I guess it depends on how you define quality. But I know growing up, for example, Edgar Rice Burroughs, I don't think is very literary. He wrote for the pulp magazines in the very early 20th century, and I just love them. And part of it is that I could just pick up so many of the books, such quantities of books, as pure escapism. But he wrote the Alex Rider books for children. Oh, okay. I have heard of Alex Rider, and I've seen a movie or a miniseries. Oh no, John hasn't been reading at all lately. Sometimes we just get into slumps. I've read many quality books in that quantity of books. Well, that's true. Sometimes you have to read a lot to find the hidden gems. The feds aren't telling everything they know about those drones, and people are starting to freak. Yeah, if I was living in New Jersey and I was seeing them, I would freak out too. In my opinion, there is a logical Earth-based reason for 99.99% of UFOs. I'm tired of hearing about them, Daisy. I say, crap or get off the pod. I have been, yes, John, some people are really interested in them. And I feel like I should be one of those that are really interested in them, but I just haven't been. Once you get, well, I don't know what you're talking about now. The water weight. But my stepmother had this photo that this is in the days where you would take photos to be developed at the pharmacy or whatever. Anyway, so she took some photos, and this one developer was like, thought she had a photo of a UFO that she didn't realize she took from the, out the window of her car. And he was like, you have a picture of a UFO. And apparently he called some UFO society or something, and they came and they looked at it. And apparently it was the reflection on the dash of a letter opener, but the reflection in the window kind of looked like this. It was like a clear plastic letter opener. So, but it looked really strange in the photo because it was reflected off. Anyway, so yeah, a lot of times they are. There's an explanation. Okay, what am I doing with this red? I wish this was a darker pink. But again, darker pink just goes red, because that's what pink is, red and white. But last I've heard, the aliens have underwater bases. Did you hear that one crazy congressman talking about the mothership from Iran? Fox Mulder would be interested in him. that's been reported since the 70s. There's one supposedly near Catalina Island. My mom gets too much water in her ankles, has to take a diuretic. Oh, I'm sorry. That sucks. Is that from, I want to say diabetes or gout, it sounds like. They actually have videos claiming to show them diving underwater, and you saw it yourself. Ooh. My wife has stage 4 kidney disease. Oh, I'm so sorry. Has told to drink a lot of water. She overcompensated and put on weight. Interesting. Okay, well, have her take care of herself. Yeah, a very good friend of mine, my best friend, in fact, has his kidney stopped working. And so he has to go through dialysis. They have dialysis at home now, but kidney disease is no joke, and the wait to get on a replacement kidney is a nightmare. Okay, I'm just making this. Pink, as dark as I can. Many years ago, the pilot of a small plane was flying over Bass Strait between Tasmania and mainland. When he radioed that he was being followed by a UFO, he disappeared without a trace. Wow. Yeah, that sucks, John. Bruce had to live on a machine, not enough kidneys available for transplants. Yeah, it's really an issue. And they're always talking about like artificial kidneys or using pigs. There's some reason why it's hard to use animal parts. And anyway. Remember there used to be, and this is back in the 70s, there used to be a lot of talk about the Bermuda Triangle, but I haven't heard about that at all much anymore. But I remember it was, I think, a TV series too about the Bermuda Triangle. And if you don't know, there's like reports of ships missing and planes missing in that triangle. I think it's, well, one of Bermuda, obviously, but Miami and somewhere else that forms a triangle. And last, I have this really light pink. And here we go. Yeah, there's lots of exciting things happening in my life, by the way, but I can't really talk about it right now, but hopefully maybe in a couple weeks I can. Okay. The pilot will appear one day in Spielberg movies. I love Third Encounters or Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Love that movie. Why don't trains disappear? What? What is Sagan talking about? Are there trains in the ocean? Last I worked out how much I spent on out-of-pocket expenses for seeing my private doctor in the last 2 years. $213, which is about 130. That is crazy for us Americans. You're answering a question about United, UHC. Healthcare system in the U.S. is totally irrational. Yeah, I've joined Blue Sky. I don't really understand Blue Sky and Twitter and all that. I mean, I post there to announce my videos, but I never got into posting on Twitter or looking at Twitter that much. Couple books on your wish list about trains disappearing. One is a horror movie. Oh, just watched a story about a pilot who was flying to Miami from Bermuda, was surrounded by cloud tunnels and arrived in Florida in just around an hour and a few minutes. It should have taken longer, I assume. Horror book, not movie. Oh, if you haven't seen the movie, it's a Snow Train, Snowpiercer. That's fun. Should have taken his plane 2.5 hours. Wow. I don't get it, Daisy. It was hilarious when I heard Carl Sagan say it. Joined Blue Sky about 3 weeks ago. Yeah, if I was really into Twitter, oh, by the way, you can follow me or friend me on Blue Sky. But again, I don't really post. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm just going to go with black. Let's keep it this pink. Totally forgot what I was going to say. Must have been, hospital expenses. So I was in the hospital for 5 days for this IVIG treatment for the Guillain-Barré. So I looked at what they billed my insurance company, and it was $250,000. That was the bill, the hospital bill. The insurance company has, contracts with the hospital for to get discounts. The discount was $230,000, which means the insurance company paid out $20,000 for this 5-day hospital stay, which is like, okay, still a lot of money, but it wasn't $250,000. My question is, would they really charge anybody $250,000 for a 5-day stay? They cut off just because it was an insurance company $230,000. Why is this $250,000 anywhere? If I was an individual without health insurance, would I be charged $250,000? It makes no sense to me. It makes the healthcare system in the United States just makes no sense. I mean, thank God I got insurance through my employer. But for people who are self-employed and for whatever reason have to pay for their own insurance, especially for like if you have a family. Because it could easily cost, excuse me, $1,000 a month for insurance for like a couple and maybe a couple children. Anyway. Yeah, the health cost is crazy. Heard stories about people losing houses because of hospital bills. And again, it makes me wonder. I mean, like a $250,000 hospital bill for a week is crazy, but the insurance company just paid 20,000, which is still a lot, but it's, yeah, I hear those stories too. There was a documentary last year about how middle management stepped in the 80s and inflated the prices. American disease seems to be worse here in most places. Well, we spend so much more on healthcare than any other country, but we don't have the life expectancy to justify it because our life expectancy in the U.S. is a lot lower than countries that spend like a fraction of what we spend. I don't know if it's a fraction, but never had a hospital bill. When I have gone to private hospital to have my endoscopy, colonoscopy, I had paid $500 excess up front, but the government and my private health fund paid the rest. That's how it should be. Prepay through their taxes. Basic hospital insurance costs about $35 a month. Wow. They want me to get another, but wouldn't even if they paid me. You should really get it, Frank. A friend of mine died of colon cancer. It's no joke. Okay, so I'm going to try to blur this black out a little bit. Okay. Okay, I think I'm going to just leave this as is. Okay. Have a coloscopy, endoscopy every 5 years because my grandfather died of colon cancer and my father and grandmother died of esophageal cancer. Yep, you just got to do these maintenance checks. Paid vacations, paid lunch break, teachers get paid 52 weeks a year. Worry more about heart disease than cancer. Our government sends out free bowel cancer kits every. Oh, I never even heard of that. I worry over my wife. Okay, so I'm going to. Oh, tomorrow night I'm seeing a drag show. The Jinx and Della holiday special is showing here in Las Vegas, and I've never seen them live before, but they are so great. At least in their holiday special that was on, they filmed it on Hulu when there was during the pandemic. Okay, here's the question. How am I going to, should I do pink on the lid or something else? Or should I just do silver? I think I think I'm going to do pink on the lid just because I hardly ever do that. All monochrome. All mammograms are free in Australia. They even have traveling mammogram buses. Huh. I was going to buy the book about the American healthcare system, the one that's now famous about, but I think reading it would make me angry. Enjoy it while it lasts. Wow. Yeah. I'm sure that's why enjoy it while it lasts. The new administration may ban drag shows. Gosh. maybe they're going to ban my channel. I don't know. Can't have a drag queen talking about books. Okay, I'm going to trying to get a pink ombre going. And hmm. So adding some chunky glitter. Okay. Sent money to a fundraiser for that woman that They arrested over the famous three word. I don't know about that. Worried about everyone here. I'm glad we were 3,000 miles in the Pacific. That religion isn't taken seriously in Australia. Interesting. But we still get crap politicians. They're everywhere. You should be safe for at least a little while the end comes, but don't think Zuckerberg will let you stay in his bunker. Okay. As usual, it's hard to get the black. Well, let me just do this. Okay. Now we're going to switch to chroma cake. Religion is losing traction here, but not fast enough. Well, if you look at the stats of religion in the U.S., the people that go to church regularly, it's really gone down dramatically, especially in the 21st century. But we're founded as a group of exiled religious fanatics. We're the Puritans. You know, even though the Constitution was has freedom of religion, it was mostly because there were so many radical religions back then that they had to make sure that there wasn't going to be as they called it, a tyranny by majority. I think a couple weeks ago we were talking about BritBox, the BBC channel you can purchase on Amazon Prime for, I think it's pretty cheap, a couple dollars a month, whatever. But they're known for their procedural cop shows or detective shows. And I was watching one that had such a silly premise. It's called Rosemary and Thyme. And it's about these two women who I want to say horticulturalist, but one of them was like a professor of horticulture in a college, and she was let go or laid off. And this other woman is a ex-policewoman who's also an avid gardener. So you would think, since this is going to be a detective show, that they have this love of plants or whatever, but they decide to open up a detective agency. But the premise is that they open up a landscaping company. But this is a detective show or an amateur detective show. So every job they have, someone gets murdered. Every job they get, which is like this little gardening or landscaping or something like that, checking dead trees. Every job they have, someone dies. It kind of reminds me of like Murder She Wrote. Where Jessica Fletcher just happens to be around so many murders. Which is also the premise of Mira Lafferty's Mid-Solar Murders, the science fiction mystery book I like a lot, where she ends up being around murder. The main character ends up being around murders a lot, so much so that the police get suspicious. Okay, so I think I am done. I remember last week, or you probably don't, but I forgot to put on false eyelashes during the live stream. It's like, well, why is something wrong? A woman was arrested, was given a $100,000 bond for saying deny, defend, depose, you'll be next, when they turned down her claim. He said it was a terrorist threat. Gosh. released her to home detention. Yeah, I haven't heard about that one. Not sure what book to start today. I have free reading. And that I have finished my challenge. Maybe On Earth. Oh yeah, that's a fun one. I love On Earth as it is on television. Still watching Earth Abides. People were complaining about the show's wokeness because Ish and Emma are a mixed race couple. The book is 75 years old when they were a mixed race couple in it. Interesting. I don't know if I know that much about Earth Abides. Homicide rate in the lawn care industry is huge for Rosemary and Thyme. There's a show called Mrs. Singh Investigates on BritBox about a case. Oh, I think I saw one episode. And a murder happens wherever she goes. Yeah, I prefer it when they're actually detectives. Oh, Pie in the Sky. It's about this. I really like the actor, very rotund actor who plays a police detective, DCI police detective who retires or is forced out of retirement. I forget the story, but he opens up a gourmet restaurant. But of course, since he's a police detective, he gets involved in all these cases. And woke is getting out of hand. I think it's about to start going away now. Well, everything comes. Oops. Most of the new admin is racist. Yeah, everything comes in waves. So, okay. I'm going to do the under eyes, then the lips, and then the false eyelashes, which I can't forget today. I'm gonna have to look up that Mrs. Singh Investigates because I remember seeing one episode, but I really like the actress who plays the detective. I mean, I like her more than the premise of the story. But yeah, if they have Pie in the Sky, look it up on BritBox. I think it's an older shit series. Older as in like the 90s. But I'm not, don't quote me on that. Okay, so I think I'm done with the eyes. Should read Earth Abides. Let me look that up. You know what I want to? It's a drama miniseries. 2024 miniseries. After months of isolation, Isherwood Ish Williams learns that most of the world has fallen to a mysterious illness. Interesting. And it's a book. It's a 1949 American post-apocalyptic science fiction novel by George Stewart. Yeah, I don't know anything about this. I had no idea it was a series. So anyway, I really wanted to read or to get the next Brandon Sanderson book, which of course I'm reading now, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this week to get to make it into my top 2024 list, which I really need to film next week or else it'll be next month. But the other book I was looking at that I kind of want to get, because I've talked about it so much, is The Last Dangerous Visions. Harlan Ellison's he didn't write, he edited Again Dangerous Visions and Dangerous Visions, and he was supposed to do The Last Dangerous Visions. It was supposed to come out in 75 or in the 70s, and he just sat on it for, gosh, how many years? And but finally they've just published it, and I am curious about it. It's a collection of science fiction or speculative short stories. And it's fantastic. So the new cabinet, oh yeah, it's who knows what's going. We're worried about RFK Jr. You know, some of his stuff seems reasonable about the additives or the fast food corporate conglomerates that sort of pushing bad diets on Americans. But some of his stuff about vaccines and stuff, is scary. Oh, you have watched Pie in the Sky ages ago. What are we talking about? Oh, institutionalized racism. I don't know about the lawyer. Irish, Scots, Welsh, and Cornish do not get the same opportunities in English companies as English people. And it's kind of weird because when we hear about racism, we think about people of color. But gosh, even in America, immigrants from Germany and Ireland and Poland and like the turn of last century. I have the first Dangerous Visions on audio. I don't know if I would like it on audio because the stories are so different, unless each story is narrated by someone else. I have to look that up, the audio version. Class-based. Well, UK is much more class-based than the US, I think. Bad guys in TV shows are usually of those ethnicities, while the English are the good guys. Interesting. History textbooks for all schools in the UK is history of England when it should be Britain. Okay, guys, I need to put on some lips. Well, I think I've talked about it before here in the U.S., how when I moved from the West Coast to the East Coast as a kid, how different the history being taught in schools were. Because a lot of, at least here in the U.S., from my experience, and this was a long time ago, is very regional. Like in California, going to school in California, we learned a lot about the frontier expedition, a lot about the Mexican missionaries and all that stuff, and Indian Native Americans in California, of how they were displaced and yada, yada, yada. But going to the East Coast, It was all about the Civil War. Mm. My nose is running. Think about drag makeup. You can't really blow your nose because there's so much makeup, you'll just blow it off. Okay. Oh, John's leaving. Bye, John. Thank you for stopping by. Oh, thank you. The royal righties want to get rid of the right to gay marriage. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, but you never know with the Supreme Court. I mean, the case would have to go to the Supreme Court. And I don't know if they have the stomach for that because there would be a big issue about people who are already married and you'd be taking away rights. And it would affect me because I'm in a gay marriage. Okay. So I'm looking for. And blowing your nose like crazy for the last 3 years. It's driving me crazy. Must be some sort of COVID hangover. Never heard of that, but who knows? Turned 70. Congratulations. Okay, I might. Okay, I think I'm done with the lips. And the only thing I need to do are the eyelashes. Get some. Turn 67 in February, so I have to decide whether to go on age pension or stay on the disability pension. Why can't you have both? I don't know how any of this works. Okay. Yeah, the eyelashes make such a difference, if you can tell. Okie dokie. Thank you, Frank. Looking foxy. What is weird about reading a book about drag? I picked it up in the latest Audible store. It cost you $3, huh? Okay. I'm going to. Because I have a lace front, I'm going to put on one of these bands. So it's about drag wigs, not drag. Oh. Yeah, drag has gotten mainstream thanks to RuPaul. Really. I never thought it would be because it was because I've been going to drag shows since the 80s. And it definitely wasn't mainstream back then. Okay. I've been kind of stopping myself from getting any more drag wigs because I have so many. Spent so much money on drag wigs, it's ridiculous. My camera's kind of in a weird position. Can I move this? Yeah, there we go. Okay, guys, this is, I hope, the final look. And I think it turned out okay. And again, I will be filming the reviews of the Shelf It or Shove It books from July to December. And yeah. And this week I will be releasing, actually that's the book I'll be releasing. When I was in the hospital, I used up all my backlogs of videos. So the videos I'm filming today is what it's going to be showing this week, assuming I can edit it. And I did film Shelf It or Shove It last week. And hopefully next week I'll be able to do the top 10 books of 2024. Depending on what happens, I may push that off till January. I don't know. I don't think anyone's keeping great track of my top 10 books, but maybe they are. I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me, and I should be back here next week. Pretty in pink. Thank you, Lynette. Looking great. Regal. Ooh, regal today. Okay, guys. Looking forward to the reviews. You will get them hopefully on Thursday. And as usual, may all the books you read be blessed.